All right, let's dive into something I think a lot of people struggle with, personal finances. Specifically, we're looking at Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover, which claims to offer a path to financial freedom. I mean, there are so many financial gurus out there. What makes this one different?
Well, I think one of the most striking things is how Ramsey goes beyond just the numbers. He starts with the way we think about money. He really tackles the psychology of debt.
Yeah.
He challenges that whole debt is normal thing, that so many of us just kind of accept as a fact of life.
That's how it is, right?
Right. But Ramsey argues that's a trap, like being stuck on a hamster wheel, running and running, but getting nowhere.
It's that light bulb moment. You suddenly realize, wait, I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. There's a way out.
Exactly. And that's where his famous 7 baby steps come in.
Think of those?
It's all about building a solid financial foundation one step at a time. And it starts small with a tiny emergency fund, just $1,000. Not about getting rich quick, but more about gaining control and security right from the start.
It's like that first gulp of air when you come up from being underwater, and then he hits you with the dead snowball in step 2.
Right.
Which is a pretty smart strategy, I think.
It really is. It's not just about paying off debt. It's about changing your behavior. You list all your debts, smallest to largest, and attack the smallest one first. Then as you knock each one out, you gain momentum.
It's like that feeling you get when you finally clean out that junk drawer.
Yeah.
But this time it's your finances. And speaking of behavior change, step 3 is all about that fully funded emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of living expenses, which sounds like a lot, but Ramsey really believes it's like essential for having real peace of mind.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. You lose your job, you get hit with a medical bill. With that emergency fund, you can handle it without having to resort to credit cards. You break free from that constant financial stress.
Now, those first 3 steps, they're all about getting out of debt. But what about the rest? What about actually building wealth and living intentionally?
Well, that's where the rest of the steps come in. Step 4 is all about investing, 15% of your income for retirement. Ramsey's a big believer in consistency and the power of compound interest. Even small contributions over time can make a huge difference.
And he's not talking about like risky stock picks or those get-rich-quick schemes. He's more about those low-cost mutual funds.
Yeah.
Steady, reliable, the slow and steady wins the race approach.
Exactly. Then there's step 5, saving for your kids' college. Which, can seem overwhelming. But Ramsey argues that a paid-for college education can set your kids up for success from day one.
And what's next? Paying off the mortgage early.
You got it. Step 6 is all about owning your home outright. No more mortgage payments, just pure freedom and flexibility.
And then, after all that hard work and discipline, we get to the final baby step, generosity. And this is where Ramsey's philosophy really goes beyond just personal finance.
It's the ultimate expression of financial freedom, right? It's about using your financial stability to give back, support causes you care about, leave a positive legacy behind. It's not just about accumulating wealth for yourself.
It's about making a difference. So we've got this whole mindset shift, then the 7 baby steps. But what about day-to-day money management? How does Ramsey actually tell you to handle that?
Well, he's a big advocate for what he calls the zero-based budget, which can be pretty transformative, let me tell you.
Zero-based budget. I've heard the term, but what does it actually mean?
Basically, it means giving every dollar a job at the beginning of the month. Track your income, plan out your expenses. Every dollar is accounted for.
So it's like creating a roadmap for your money, making sure it's working for you, not against you. But a lot of people find budgeting restrictive. How does Ramsey address that?
He argues that it's not about deprivation. It's about making intentional choices, aligning your spending with your values and goals. It's a plan that empowers you, not restricts you.
So instead of feeling limited, you're taking control, making deliberate decisions about how you use your money.
Precisely. It's a tool for freedom, not a cage. Shifting your perspective, seeing it as a way to design the life you want.
Now, along with the budget, Ramsey's also known for his stance on debt, especially credit cards.
Oh, yeah. He's pretty adamant about ditching them altogether. Encourages using cash as much as possible.
Which seems pretty radical in today's world. What's his reasoning behind that?
He believes that credit cards just make it too easy to overspend and fall into debt. Paying with cash, he argues, forces you to really think about what you're buying.
Yeah, I guess there is something about handing over physical cash that makes it feel more real, more tangible. But I mean, isn't it kind of inconvenient to go cash only these days, especially with everything going digital?
Sure, it might require some adjustments, but Ramsey argues that the long-term benefits of avoiding debt outweigh any short-term inconvenience.
So prioritizing long-term financial health over convenience. But realistically, going completely cash only might be a big hurdle for some people.
It might. And, it might take some creative thinking and changes to how you spend. But even if you're not ready to ditch the plastic entirely, his message is clear. Be mindful, avoid unnecessary debt, and use credit responsibly.
So we've got the mindset shift, the baby steps, budgeting, and this cash-only approach. What else does Ramsey emphasize in this Total Money Makeover?
One of the big things is having a long-term vision, It's not just about getting by day to day. It's about thinking about those big dreams. Early retirement, maybe, a dream house, traveling the world, whatever it is for you.
It's about stepping back and really asking yourself, what do I actually want my life to look like?
Yeah.
And how can my finances, how can they help me get there?
Exactly. And that's where setting goals comes in. Ramsey's all about writing down those goals, making them specific, and then making a plan to actually reach them.
So it's not just about following some set of rules. It's about tailoring it to your own hopes and dreams, making your money work for you.
Right. And here's something that I think is really interesting. He talks about contentment a lot. He argues that real financial freedom, it's not just about having a ton of money, it's about being happy with what you have.
That's a powerful idea, especially in a world where everyone's always pushing for more and more and more. It's so easy to get caught in that trap of, I'll be happy when. But Ramsey's challenging that.
Yeah, he's saying it's not about denying yourself everything. It's about appreciating what you do have and finding the joy in the simple things. It's about spending your money on things that align with your values, not just keeping up with, the Joneses.
So it's like shifting your focus, right, from what you don't have to what you do. That can be pretty freeing.
It really can. And another thing to remember is that Ramsey isn't just about personal enrichment. He's a big believer in teaching these principles to the next generation.
Yeah, the whole idea of financial literacy, breaking those cycles of debt, giving kids the tools they need to make good financial decisions from a young age.
Exactly. Think about a generation that grows up with a healthy understanding of money. They'd be able to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that we've struggled with. They could build a secure future for themselves, for their families.
It's about creating a ripple effect, right?
Right.
Passing down that knowledge, empowering future generations to reach financial freedom. Now, let's go back to that debt snowball method for a second. We talk about how it works, but what makes it so effective?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the psychology behind it. By tackling those smaller debts first, you get those quick wins. And that builds momentum, keeps you motivated. It makes this huge task of paying off debt seem less overwhelming.
It's like those video games where you start with the easy levels. You build up your confidence before you take on the harder challenges. Except this time, the game is real life, and the reward is financial freedom.
And that psychological boost can be huge, especially for people who feel buried under debt. Each little victory reinforces those good habits, makes you more likely to stay the course.
So it's not just the numbers, it's the feeling, the sense of accomplishment you get with each debt you pay off.
Yeah.
Now, I know some critics argue that the debt snowball, it's not always the most mathematically efficient way to go. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's true that focusing just on interest rates might save you a little bit more money in the end, but Ramsey believes that changing your behavior is just as important as those mathematical calculations, if not more so.
So it's about finding the strategy that works best for you, the one you're going to stick with, even if it's not perfectly optimized on paper.
Exactly. It's got to be sustainable, right? And let's not forget, the ultimate goal here for Ramsey isn't just about getting rid of debt, it's about generosity.
Reaching a point where you can actually use your finances to make a positive impact on the world.
Think about the potential. If everyone who reached financial freedom through Ramsey's plan embraced that spirit of generosity,
it could be pretty amazing. So as we wrap up our look at the Total Money Makeover, what are some of the key takeaways that our listeners can apply to their own lives?
Well, I think the biggest one is that it really is possible, Financial freedom, it's not just for the wealthy or the lucky few. It's about making smart choices, being disciplined, and sticking with it.
Ramsey's book really does provide a roadmap. It breaks down what can seem like a huge, overwhelming task into steps you can actually manage, gives you clear directions, and a good dose of motivation.
It's like having a coach in your corner.
Yeah. cheering you on. But it's not like a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. It gives you the power to make your own decisions, tailor the plan to your goals, your situation.
It's about understanding the why behind each step and adapting it to your life. One thing that really stuck with me is how much Ramsey talks about contentment.
Oh, yeah, that's huge. In a world where everyone's always wanting more, 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 he reminds us that real wealth, it's not just about how much money you have, it's about being happy with what you've got.
It's about changing your perspective, being grateful for what you have, instead of always focusing on what you don't have. And that can be so freeing.
It really can. It gets you out of that constant cycle of wanting, helps you appreciate what's right in front of you.
And that feeling, that peace of mind, it's priceless. Something you can't buy with any amount of money.
So true. And as we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with this. You don't have to wait to get started on your financial makeover. Take a step today, right now.
Yeah, think about one small thing you can do to move towards a brighter future. Maybe it's making a budget, or paying off a small debt, or even just talking to your family about your financial goals.
You know how they say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step? Well, this is your journey. And remember, financial freedom, it's not a destination, it's a process. It's making choices every day that align with your values, your goals.
So take a deep breath. Believe in yourself. And take that first step. And if you're looking for more guidance, more inspiration, I definitely recommend checking out the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. It just might change your life.
It definitely provides a powerful framework for achieving financial peace and ultimately using your resources to make a real difference in the world.
And that wraps up our deep dive into Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover. We hope you learned something and feel ready to take control of your finances. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.